And some artists are very what do I call it? I don't know. I mean, a little. Sorry for me to say a little childish because it doesn't involve you. Because it doesn't involve you does not mean you should come online to ridicule the show. Like, I mean, do you own the HIPLIFE brand? Do you own the HILIFE brand? This is Ghana music. This is supposed to promote an agenda to put Ghana first. And so because it doesn't involve you, I don't think it should warrant you any reason to want to come online and ridicule, the efforts of, somebody who is trying to invest within the industry. This is what we do every time. We cry. Hey, what's up, people? This your boy Beats Exclusives back in the building. Never left YouTube. YouTube almost kind of left me. I mean, YouTube showed me shaggy, but that is a different conversation for another day. This is a quick video on an event that happened over the weekend on Sunday that I was, almost kind of, I was previewed to, the whole activities from backstage to front stage and a lot of the things that, transpired about this event. And so I'm talking about the HIPLIFE and HILIFE celebration event that went on Sunday, that had the likes of Brafo, Jupiter, and the young chap Kojo Black, yes, headlining the concert. I mean, I think it was a beautiful concept. I came across this concept, first by my friend, my very good friend. I mean, he has nothing to do with what I'm about to discuss, but it's very important for me to, bring him in for context. You get what I'm saying? So that you get where I'm coming from with what some of the things I'm about to say about this event. And so, I came across a concept like this from my very good friend, the PM. If you know PM from the days of KGPM, then you know who I'm talking about. He's a very active promoter of events. He's an active events promoter, musician, DJ. He does a lot of things. And so if you're within the UK, very within the circles of London, you've probably come across in one or two of his events, within the Ghanaian community and even outside the Ghanaian community. Right. And so fast forward to, the first time I had a concept like that was from the PM. He openly said to me that he has an idea that he wants to, do a HIPLIFE concept he wants to do, because he's from the HIPLIFE days. He's actually one of the pioneers of, the whole pidgin English, pidgin language within the Ghanaian rap scene. He's one of them, the people that first started using the pidgin in our Ghana music scene. And so he said to me he wants to put up a HIPLIFE concept. There was no HILIFE attached to the whole concept that he discussed with me. And he also said he's discussed it with a few people, trying to see if he can get sponsorship for this very event. And so fast forward to, what I'm about to say now. And so fast forward to 2025, it started circulating. There was a HIPLIFE and HILIFE event, about to take off in London. I mean, within the same space that he finds himself, he is. And so, I had a little reservation about the whole event. I'm not even going to lie, because, I have my friends, interest at heart. And so, when I first ever heard of a HIPLIFE HILIFE event, I was thinking, wait, did somebody scoop my friend's idea? But because his didn't really have the HILIFE connotation attached to the whole event, and so I mean, listen, God, they give the idea to plenty people. Whoever acts first is the one that wins the rights to the idea. And so and so lo and behold, it became that there was an event that was going to happen titled HIPLIFE and HILIFE celebration. And they had a host of big artists on there, like I previously mentioned, Kojo Black, Obrafo, the legendary Obrafo, one of the people that kicked off the whole HIPLIFE era. I mean, I should say he's actually the one that kicked off the whole HIPLIFE era after Red Rockstone made it known. and then it had also high life legends, a big high life legend like Dada KD, may his soul rest in peace. And so, you know, these artists, including Jupiter as well, who is very prominent within the Ghana dancehall scene and the music scene in general. And so, fast forward to the whole thing, the whole event being promoted. I had a few backdoor conversations with the event organizers, and they said to me, the event was being promoted, I think 3 months prior or 3 weeks prior. I can't really recollect which of but I think it's either 3 months prior or 3 weeks prior, one of that. And so everything was going well, lo and behold, until we lost one of the legends, who is Dada KD. Out of nowhere, out of the blue, we woke up one day and Dada KD wasn't with us anymore. And so for me, as an observer at the time, that was a big blow, and that kind of made me feel like they were going to postpone the show. I didn't think that they were going to carry on, to do the full show. So I mean, lo and behold, they managed to, pick themselves up and, started promoting the show again, got all the artists involved to the UK, in London. The show happened in Dominion Center. If you know Dominion Center, there has been a lot of Ghanaian events hosted, in that venue. I have my own personal reservations about that venue for our events, but, we've used it a whole lot of times. From the Ghana Music Awards UK all the way to a Match of the Day, and a lot of legendary. Kujentry has also played there. A whole lot of legendary Ghanaian performances have been held in that Dominion Center. Anyway, so fast forward, and so Dada KD, if you do not know him, he has a very big following within the UK and Europe. Because he was German, he was based in Germany once upon a time, and also moved to UK, in between sometimes. You get what I'm saying? And so he has a core fan base that are very glued to him. And so for me, I think one of the main pillars that affected this event was, us losing Dada KD, because I felt like he was one of the strong pillars promoting, making sure people were going to come to the show up until his passing. And so it is what it is. I have some behind the scene footages of when the artist Obrafo, Kojo Black, Jupiter, joined 77 from the militant, former SM, member. I don't know if he's still with the SM crew, but yeah. Joint is somebody I've known personally for a very long time. And so, all of that, me going to the event, seeing, the what was put in place for this event to kick off. The organizers, I'm telling you for a fact that they had every reason, to call off this event. But because it was a first pilot, this is what a lot of people do not understand. I've seen a few couple of videos, trying to drag the patronage of the event, because it was a first pilot. Now, when they say this is something is a first pilot, it's a first attempt, to bring together HIPLIFE legends and HILIFE legends, to entertain fans, outside of Ghana. You get what I'm saying? Because it was a first pilot, the organizers felt like it won't be good for the brand for them to, pull off the event. Even though we've lost one of the biggest pillars, one of the biggest pillars of the event, it won't make sense for them to pull off the event, because they wanted to see how people will patronize this event. That was the main concept. I had the chance to speak to one the main event organizer, and this was his idea for going ahead with the event, even though one of the main pillars of the event was not with us anymore. And so he felt like it would not make sense for them to pull the event down, considering the fact that, patronage was low. I mean, I'm telling you, they will not make anything out of this show. But for the love of the concept, and for the love of the artists that were involved, or the other artists that were involved, they went ahead, flew the artists in, sorted whatever they needed to sort it. I mean, I don't know a lot about the the back end between agreements between the agreement between the performers or the artist and the event organizers. I don't know about that, but I'm saying, all the artists were very geared and very happy to have come to perform. That is for sure. I mean, there wasn't any complaints about artist treatment, or I mean, there wasn't any bickering about anything else. All the artists came, especially Obrafo for me, like and this is my first time, having being able to shake Obrafo, I mean, having a close contact, communication, or kind of listening ear into conversations going on backstage and everything. I mean, a lot of the things that were happening, you get what I'm saying, during the dress rehearsal of the day of the event. And so lo and behold, the whole show came together. The whole show coming together. I mean, I'm not here to do no damage control because I'm not part of the organizers. I just went there. I'm telling you, when the show first was announced, I had my reservations because of my friend's interest, which is the PM, because the PM had first, discussed a HIPLIFE, HILIFE concept. No, a HIPLIFE concept with me, not HIPLIFE, HILIFE. A HIPLIFE concept with me. You understand? And so, fast forward to, everything happening now. And so I'm only saying this to say that I'm not here to do any damage control on behalf of the organizers or anything else. That is not my job. I'm just an eyewitness of, how everything transpired on the day. And so I went there because my other brother, from another mother, was booked for the event, who is in the name of Ohene Music GH. I'll put up his performance video for a little bit for you guys to see. He was booked for the event through the courtesy, the kindness of Nana Romeo, of Accra FM. If you know Nana Romeo, he's a very big player within the Ghana music scene right about now. And so, he hooked my brother up to perform, and this was a big deal for us because this is like my brother's biggest performance, as at now. Because he's released an album. He hasn't made any appearance since releasing the album. Even though on the day of the event he wasn't feeling too well, but we had to go do what we had to go do. And so he was billed to perform, and I was there to support him. You get what I'm saying? I didn't go on stage with him, but I was there just to make sure that I'm recording, doing background videos and of the stage videos for him, for promotion. And so, I was in there, and I saw and I heard, a lot of the reasons why people did not come. Now, these are my few reasons why I think people did not come. The number one main attribute of why people did not show up is because of Dada KD. That is for sure guaranteed. I'm telling you. A lot of people had reservations about they lost. Ghanaians, we are like that. Once something is about to happen and one big person falls off, everybody else become a little bit folded. And so I think this is what the number one contributor of why people did not show up. Number two, it's almost summer in in the UK. It's almost summer in the UK. We're having a little bit of partial rainfalls and sunshines in between, but we are heading towards summer in the UK. Slow but sure we'll get there, and so summer in the UK is long days, short nights, and so even around 9 p.m., 10 p.m., the sun, the outside is still shining, and so in regards to that, I remember, telling somebody in the venue that people are not going to show up the time the show is supposed to start because, the outside is still bright, even sometimes after 10 p.m. There's still, daylight outside. You get what I'm saying? And so people will not show up on time because of that. That is, a lot of people will be holding their own barbecues, will be, having their own small group meetings and gatherings and all of that. And so people will not leave the comforts of their home, especially when it's a long bank holiday weekend. It was a long bank holiday weekend. People are not going to leave their homes to come to a venue to watch an event. An event that has one of the main pillars of the event, is not here with us anymore. And it was one of the reasons. You get what I'm saying? And also, for me, this is a personal opinion. I think the Dominion Center, we've milked it too many times. The capacity of the venue is not big. It's a little over 2,000. Yeah, the capacity of the venue is not big, but the hall is huge. And so if you're not able to get a reasonable amount of, numbers, if you're not able to get over 1,000 people to attend your event at the Dominion Center, it will look like a hoax. It will look like, it's a failed show, And so this is what I think. And this is why, I was suggesting to the event organizer when I had a chance to speak to him that, listen, I think he should consider, a very intimate, location. This is why I think he should consider a very intimate location. Now, most of the artists that you're planning to bring for this event in future moving forwards are artists who are not predominantly reigning the airwaves right now. Now, you're trying to bring the old and new, mix them, and, serve them to the fans. And so you want to create an intimate atmosphere where a fan can get as close as possible to even do a TikTok or, or Snapchat video. You want it to be so intimate that, fans will be able to, shake the hands of the artists, mingle, smile, get pictures and cameras, because the Dominion Center, when you look at where the stage is and you look at where the people are sitting, boy, it takes a little bit of a walking, for the artists to come off the stage to get into the crowd. And every time, if you look at the performances, some of the other performance videos, where every time, an artist makes an approach to the audience, like the excitement is different because, we've been watching you from a distance on TV for a long time. And so if we are in the same venue with you and we can't have any form of close contact with you, what's the point? You get what I'm saying? And so for me, I think, if the organizers get a very kind of intimate type of hall where fans can have a very close, intimate, close contact, close contact kind of vibe, I think it will help the look of the show. Even if it's 10 people that shows up and, videos are flying around of, fans and the artists, taking pictures, smiling, in their, Snapchats and, little TikTok videos. That alone can circulate and give a good look to the event. And so, these are some of the few things that, I felt like I should come out. It's okay for people to want to drag it, but this is a pilot program. And so it was to test the market to see how people would, react to the show, even though we lost one of the main pillars. You get what I'm saying? And so shout outs to the event organizers. Me going into the show, I thought this was their big first main event, but apparently it's not. They've done a few other events that, I was in preview to. And so, this is not their big main event. And also number two, listen, for the Ghana music industry, and this one, I'm not throwing shots at anybody, but for the Ghana music industry, we need to wake up. Yeah, we cry for investors every time. And once, an investor attempts to do something and it doesn't go well, we want to ridicule somebody's, efforts. I think it's a very bad look on us because for an industry, who is crawling, I'm telling you, we're crawling on our knees. Our artists are trying. Like most of them are doing things out of their own pocket. And so once we have an event organizer, an individual from nowhere who is interested to come and invest in our sector, we should make it look like it's a big deal instead of trying to drag, an artist for affiliating themselves to the event organizer. Let's make it look like a big deal. I mean, I don't know. I don't see why, you'll be happy that people did not attend an event that is supposed to promote and push Ghana agenda. Like, I don't see why. And some artists are very what do I call it? Are very, I don't know. I mean, a little. Sorry for me to say a little childish because it doesn't involve you. Because it doesn't involve you does not mean you should come online to ridicule the show. Like, I mean, do you own the HIPLIFE brand? Do you own the HILIFE brand? This is Ghana music. This is supposed to promote an agenda to put Ghana first. And so because it doesn't involve you, I don't think it should warrant you any reason to want to come online and ridicule, the efforts of, somebody who is trying to invest within the industry. This is what we do every time. We cry that investors should come in, and because the investor does not come your way and is going somebody else's way, we tend to want to come online and be doing anyhow. And then when they leave and we don't have enough people to organize shows for us in and outside Ghana, we want to cry again about people not, being interested within, people not being interested with our industry. I mean, investors not being interested with our industry because we ridicule everything. We want to make mockery of everybody's attempt. I'm telling you, just this show that people are talking about. I mean, I see everybody's trying to make it look like it's Obrafo show. This is not Obrafo show. Obrafo was built to come and perform alongside Kojo Black, alongside Dada KD. May his soul rest in peace. And a host of other artists. I mean, there were some UK artist performances as well. I think it was a brilliant idea. I mean, it gives chance for UK artists to get a platform to perform, network with Ghanaian artists, collaborations and things will happen in between, friendship and bonds will be made. And so we should be encouraging things like this. I mean, we're we're funny. Like we will make ridicule of, somebody's attempt to promote Ghana. And then we'll come back and say nobody's trying to promote Ghana. Like, how do you expect somebody to come and promote, an industry where everything is a ridicule if it's not going on the other person's, way? I mean, this is crazy to me, but anyway, it is what it is. This your boy Beat Exclusives. This is my little, fair. This is my little view of, the HIPLIFE, HILIFE, celebration concert that happened over the weekend on Sunday. What was the date? 1 second. Let me grab the date. Let me just get a quick glance of the date. The date was okay. It was Sunday, so the date was the 25th. Yeah, man. And so yeah, listen. Shout outs to the event organizers. I will encourage them to keep doing what they love to do. If their aim is to project and promote Ghana and Ghana music to the rest of the world, I will keep encouraging them to do so. I mean, the event organizer, he's a very lovely gentleman. I mean, somebody I've never met before in my life. Shook my hands, gave me a hug. Appreciated the fact that we showed up to support what was happening. I mean, that alone for me speaks well of him, the gentleman. And so big up to him, shout outs to him, his team, everything that he invested. I hope, in subsequent events, he reaps it back because he's a very lovely soul. I mean, somebody who just, somebody who has invested this much money, took it cool, to the chin. Wasn't complaining of anything, he confirmedly said to me that, listen, he wanted the show to go ahead, just so that he would see, see people's reception towards the show. Even though he knew that Dada KD thing was going to affect the whole show, he didn't mind, to go ahead with the show. And so spending all this money to do this, I want to say kudos to him and his team. Big shout outs to Dana Romeo for hooking up my bro, Ohene Music, for the performance. It was a lovely experience. He did very well. And so I appreciate everybody and everyone that came to support the event. Listen, let's not hate. If it's not in your camp, it doesn't mean that it should go to waste. Let's appreciate and support and pray for Ghana music to grow from strength to strength. All right. Shout outs to everybody. If this is your first time coming across my channel, please subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Beat Exclusives is here. On to the next. Bless.